Troublesome Times. Unscripted, unedited, all done in one take. Because it's so easy, right? Since everyone else has a podcast, I might as well have one too. Oh man, ever since I came back from Atlanta, it has been complete chaos. I'm still trying to make it through this week, hoping that I can have some ice cream. like the really good ice cream that I can have on a cone. But I can last for a little longer. And on top of that, it is August, and that August for me is like the ending of the Naked Gun. Ha ha ha. But that doesn't mean I don't got some things to talk about. So ever since this last August, it seems like my main focus is going to be animation history based. Don't worry, I got that. But first things first, let's wrap up a little things about me. So last podcast, I did say that everything was up in the air about horror, and I decided, yes, I am going to study horror for about 4 to 6 months. Feels like it's going to be much longer already. And that is because before I knew it, now I'm working on 2 stories, and they're both going to be completely different. I don't want to talk about too much of the stories too much because I'm kind of worried that this story is going to be tried to shut down or be censored, and I got a lot coming in motion. So the difference is it's going to be the point of view, and I feel like for the second story it would be more fitting. It would fit the horror thing together. I'm gonna have to study Frankenstein again. Well, it is the first horror novel ever written, so I guess I could see what makes it so horror. I mean, I can see it, but to me it's kind of for me it's just mid, but maybe it's not mid, and I'm just gotta see it in my more better, wiser self reading it. No offense, just that the story is just history, right? Well, I guess that's kind of why. I remember something. Oh, well, these are the originals that ended up becoming cliches because they were the OGs. I know, but my emotion, the human side of me, the real human voice talking, the human part of me is still gonna have my opinion that story is yep. So now is a very good time if you need to clean and or shower. This is the podcast for you, and I encourage you to do all of that. So what else is there? So yes, my whole brain is ready to study all of literature and horror that is to offer, and I guess it kind of shows where my influences have come. So maybe I'm kind of scared to ask about Stephen King because there is no Stephen King in this. But maybe if we really think about it, it's kind of like a lot of the horror comes from the shock value of it. I'm willing to acknowledge that, but I gotta say I do like the writing style of it. I guess sometimes that's why a lot of times it can go on, and so it can feel like padding or filler. But I just want to say, in my opinion, I do like King a lot, but it's okay. I'm willing. I've read a lot more than just King, so I'm prepared to learn. So what else do I have? Yeah, and then I'm beginning to realizing that another thing I'm dealing with now, especially since the whole year and a half, is that I have gained low-key frosties. These are definitely people that, eventually you become sort of like an inspiration or figure for somebody, and then they end up emulating your behavior. So these low-key frosties have more often than not have greeted me like a complete like a acquaintance and or friend, and are very nice, friendly, and sociable, and I appreciate you for that. And then I am pretty, and whatever they have to say, I will say, I hope it's my first impression hasn't been the worst you have seen yet. So, yeah, so I guess the reason is you gotta be very nice to people no matter what, not just because they're low-key frosties, but because it seems like all that energy will return back to you in the future. So, and then another thing that I deal with is that it seems like some of them have also tried to be like try to be that one shining moment in my day that will eventually be featured in a video. And yes, a lot of the background characters that have gone in my situation have been real because it's really hard to, this is the thing, like, how like a lot of these famous YouTubers stuck in their famous bubble, they'll make up stories and a lot of times they'll just go like idol. Well, and that's because, and it's kind of weird, even though I have kind of a very anxiety stammer, as I like to call it, I don't even tend to do that because, and the reason why is because when you are recalling something that is real from a memory, you don't need to use filler words because you are recollecting from a memory from an experience that you have been through. So, of course, that's more likely telling the truth because you are telling something that will happen. But this is the part where you're going to know if it's just for clicks and views. It's all clickbait. And this is when it's unedited, obviously. So, when it is something that they are coming up with that I wouldn't say it's a lie, I'd say it's more like a one-sided story. You're gonna hear a lot of filler terms, and if they're doing it more than that, then they're definitely not telling the truth. But maybe Amber Heard has. I think she did that too, but who knows? Who knows? I don't know what happened. Broke. I didn't mean to. Who am I talking about? It's like kind of like the golems. It's more like because I don't like to single people out as much as people would like to believe it, but if it does apply to you, just know I'm not singling anyone out in particular. It's just like a kind of a side character, like a little group of characters. Think of like little Oompa Loompas. Like it's like I like to use like a see, this is called what is called a metaphor. This character, like the golems and the idols, those are usually a representation of a particular situation or like a meaning behind it. That is called a metaphor. So, as I'm saying, these are usually people stuck in their famous bubble and are thinking more about how to for the clout basically. So, that went on a lot longer than I expected. So, low-key frosties are okay, but just remember, you gotta be very, very careful when you're featuring a video. And if they do, you better clap back when they do, when they exploit your well-being, and you get none of your lion's share for it. Because remember, yeah, we do make up a lot of stuff, but it's fair that you get your, like, fair credit too. So, yeah. So apologies for that. I know. Leos. I guess this matters too. It's right. It's like, no, I hope it's really good because I'm going to do it in the beginning of August so that no matter what, you see this on your birthday. It's a good chance you know somebody that's born on this day that you can show right now. What a perfect way to drink. Guess what? It's water now. Like usual. Oh, that's so good. So, guess what? There are plenty of animated movies or shows that were also released in August too. And perhaps you can celebrate that you guys have the same birthday. So let's begin on that. Betty Boop in Poor Cinderella, the first and perhaps only colored Betty Boop cartoon that was done under the Fletcher Brothers let me see, what's it called? Like, their supervision or whatever, as far as I'm aware. So, according to this, to their canon, Betty Boop is a redhead, but it seems like that has not, the reception for that has not been well fared. So that is actually, so that's because, so that is why Betty Boop has black hair. Well, that makes sense to me because, she was originally in black and white and her hair was colored. So yeah, it would make more sense if she was, if usually if they did lighter hair, if it wasn't black hair, then it would be in like a lighter shade of gray. Gosh, I know. It's almost like I've done color theory or take in some art classes, right? So basically this is like Betty Boop in the role of Cinderella. I actually liked it a lot. Oh yeah, surprise, you're gonna see Betty Boop with red hair and green eyes, and they do have like a little musical number here or there. Well, like almost half of these Betty Boop cartoons have songs in them. So they were like the older version of Disney. Only like they were more absurd, more surrealism. I like it. So, what else is back? Disney's Bambi. Oh, right. Why did I write that down? I have a giant like 25-page document of a timeline for the animation history purposes. And I don't think there's ever been one other version of Bambi, but I can't see why. So basically you see Bambi grow up and, from when he was born to adulthood, pretty scenic for the most part, pretty harmless. No, not really. That's a lie. Everyone knows. Justice for Bambi's mother. Mary Poppins. This is technically a live action animated hybrid. That was pretty much the majority of early animated shorts. And so, what I believe the highlight of this scene, it's a great movie though. It is about these two children. They have a nanny taken. She's pretty magical. And then one scene, they go into this chalk world, and then Mary Poppins and Bert are probably on a date. Let's be real, but supposedly, according to the author, that no, they weren't. They never were supposed to. I guess she's asexual or something, or maybe just wasn't wanting to deal with a heteronormative narrative. But a very great movie either way. Saving Mr. Banks is kind of like about the development of Mary Poppins. I liked it too. But yeah, the highlight of the chalk scene where Mary Poppins and Bert were on a maybe low-key date while the kids are running off in the playing the chalk world. And so it's a pretty great scene, the musical number that's called Jolly Holiday. Worth it. So if you're into Studio Ghibli films, Castle in the Sky. Unfortunately, I guess I'm showing my age here when I say I haven't seen too many of the Studio Ghibli movies. I'm trying my best to. But from what I am aware, pretty much all the Studio Ghibli films are like, they are very, very good. So, that's one for you if you're in August. And any shows out. The first one I'm going to go with is Doug. That is, basically like one of the first American anime sitcoms, kid in high school, coming of age thing. All that. It's pretty harmless. I like it. And the other one is Rugrats. Ooh, this one's pretty good. This one is about a bunch of babies having adventures, and it's really something. Really something. I think you're gonna get a kick out of that one, if you're not. Oh, this one's gonna be a very hot take, but I made extra sure that this was true. I made sure to brush up on everything before I did this. Oh, so guess what? Leos and Virgos. South Park was also released in August in 97. Yippee for you, right? One of the very hardcore first adult-aimed animated cartoons in a ironic character design in paper cutout style. Very adult. And use a lot of topical humor and a lot of things. So, South Park, also Leo and or Virgo too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Virgo. Okay, so another film that's coming out, The Iron Giant. This one, I think this one was pretty underrated. The Iron Giant is a boy and a robot. They form a friendship. It's pretty cool. I don't think it did pretty well back then. Oh, and the next one is Osmosis Jones. It's about a police agent, white blood cell, if I remember correctly, and a some sort of pill cop buddy cop movies. Those were like a thing back then. They're inside a body, and the human body host is played by Bill Murray, who was one of the Ghostbusters. So, to be honest, like, I would want to say this is a good movie, but this movie was too much gross out humor for me to really enjoy, even back then. It's kind of, I don't know, some people might say this is like Inside Out. I don't think it really is. I think it's a little too, like, crude to be, like, compared to Inside Out. So, Samurai Jack was also out in August. The theme song explains it all. Basically, the samurai is fighting an evil thing, a coup is what it's called. And just when he's about to defeat him, he gets sent into the timeline in the future. It could be futuristic Japan. It's never really been, like, it's been a little, not too explicit about that. So, it's pretty cool to see him try to go back to past fight and figure out what is going on. It's legit, in my opinion, one of the greatest animated shows you will see. Like, it's almost like if Quentin Tarantino made a cartoon, but even then, that's kind of like, I still say that's a really, really good show on its own. So, thank you to the creator with the background and all that. You know, considering, Russia is, pretty much, like, they love to, like, keep everything within their borders and all that. So, thank you, creator of Samurai Jack. Your background and everything, it's really great that we have you here and all that, because who knows, this show might really not have been a thing back then. And let me tell you why. Based back then, like, probably still now, they had, like, all the animators come in this little studio and it had to be explicitly approved and all that, and I don't think that would have flied if it wasn't in the good old Cal Arts. Cal Arts wasn't always so bad. But yeah, Samurai Jack, pretty good show. If you love samurai action, all this, and it's pretty, like, it's like very little dialogue too. Very good stuff. It's like pretty, like, there's almost nothing bad to say about it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. It's probably just not for you, but I'd say it's really great. Like, and what else? Dragon Ball too? Like, no, maybe not. It's not as, it's got a bit of, like, of everything cool. So, Grim and Evil. This was the original incarnate of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I remembered when I saw this on TV for the first time, and it would show, like, the Billy and Mandy and Evil Con Carne at 11 minutes, but I think that, and I did not like the Evil Con Carne show as much. So I'm really glad they nixed that show, and then that branched out to the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. So both of the shows, so Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was these two kids. They compete with the Grim Reaper in a game of limbo to save their pet hamster. They win, and then the Grim Reaper is their best friends forever. A lot of hijinks happen. Evil Con Carne was it's kind of strange to describe, but I'll try my best. So this, like, leader is trying to take over something with his team, and he's like a talking brain with a bear as a host, and then the stomach talks too. It's a very unusual show. Like I said, so the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was a lot better, in my opinion, and all that. And then Yeah, it's pretty something. I don't think we'll ever get a show like that again. Another anime feature that was released in August in Japan was Princess Tutu. Oh, I think, let me just remember. I think this was a pretty, I was like, yeah, I was like a child when this one came out. I don't think it was, let me double check to make sure, because I think, and I have a feeling for some reason Vic Mignogna was involved in this one. Don't ask how I remember that. So, the hell, okay, so it's a little bit like Case Closed. It's a duck that transfers into a human ballerina named Princess Tutu. A little bit like Sailor Moon. I finally seen like Sailor Moon Crystal, and I don't know. I think I like Sailor Moon Crystal a lot. Even if it does play straight like the manga and it gets a little convoluted, but that doesn't mean that original counterpart wasn't bad. Like the original anime, it's pretty good. I can see the appeal for Sailor Moon. Right? It's pretty something. In order to save of a storybook print. Yes, so it seems like it's a ballet anime. Yeah, I don't think that one was very popular. Oh well. Well, check it out if you want. I don't know. Maybe it's better than it seemed. Maybe it's a hidden gem. Okay, another one that was out in August is My Life as a Teenage Robot. I still believe this is like inspired by Astro Boy because this is about a robot who tries to blend into human society and tries her best to be a normal, average, everyday teenage girl. And does it always succeed? No, not really. She's also like a superhero and has to save the place from evil robots and other like shenanigans. I can't really say how the show really went because if I recall correctly, this show got canceled like a lot. I guess people didn't believe in My Life as a Teenage Robot. But let me check that again. Maybe there was like another show that really overshadowed it. Cause this was like this was when I was a kid. Like I think I was like in first or second grade when this one came out. Oh, oh. That I'm about to. I just showed my age by saying that part. Okay. Oh, I know what it was. Oh, I know exactly what it was. According to my timeline, it was Teen Titans. Teen Titans was around there like a little before My Life as a Teenage Robot. And that came like a massive. That was so popular. Yeah, that was definitely it. So Teen Titans killed My Life as a Teenage Robot. Don't take me out of context. Don't get mad. That's my hot take. And according to this thing, it's to my timeline and the time on all that stuff. It's legit. It's legit. Yeah, Teen Titans killed My Life as a Teenage Robot. Oh man, Cartoon Network really did beat Nickelodeon in that one. And Disney's just there, the monopoly of animation, just staring at these two deck it out. And DreamWorks is just ready to be petty anytime. Ooh, imagine if somebody does make fan art of that and it becomes like a hyperdimension Neptunia kind of show. Please let me know if that does happen. I would love to see it. I'm gonna like really critique the hell out of it, just like I did with The Art of Murder. I just name dropped it animated by like, please, please, please. Just try your best, I'll do my best to really, really try to like enjoy it. Yeah, My Life as a Teenage Robot. I really did enjoy this show, and no hate towards Teen Titans. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Like, don't get me wrong, but yeah, let's just say, I guess over history, it's also showing when one show becomes good, some other show has to suffer for it. So, another show that came out in August was Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. So, I remember this one very well too, because this was around before school started. like around there. It was like around the last few days of summer. So this was about, so the pilot is like an hour long, and so it's about this kid, he doesn't want to get rid of his teenage friend, this kid doesn't want to get rid of his imaginary friend. His mom's making him kick out the imaginary friend. And so he finds this place that fosters imaginary friends. And then the catch is that, as long as he visits the imaginary friend every day, then they won't let him get adopted by somebody else. I never really got that part. Like, I sort of know why it did, because this was inspired by the creator and his wife adopting some kittens or some pets or something. So let's see if sometimes your shower thoughts really do help inspire the best ideas. So, and my personal theory is that this was actually Flash animated. I believe this was McCracken's way of trying to learn computer animation, like CGI, and then Flash was the program to use it. So I like this show a lot. It's pretty memorable, and it's got a lot of funny stuff in it, except, well, you'll know along the way. But yeah, great show. A boy and his imaginary friend. We do have a lot of those cartoons back then, huh? Like a boy and his pet kind of stuff, huh? So, and this one actually surprised me too. The next one, Scary Godmother 2. I really did have to look this up to make sure I didn't accidentally put in the wrong date. So, Scary Godmother is about this girl and her cousin and his friends. They all dare her to go to a haunted house, and they all go, and basically they're all these monsters and all that, and they all have a good time and party. I liked it a lot. It's pretty dated, I know, by a lot of things, but I really, really did enjoy it. I don't even want it to be like a reboot or just be even remade or remastered, because I think it's just great the way it is. It's really an era of its time. Scary Godmother 2 is where the cousin tries to get revenge on all the monsters and fails epically. I can kind of see why this, it was on Cartoon Network on TV for a while, but I can kind of see why this was kind of a sleeper hit. When they were smart enough to release a Halloween specials around the summer. Yeah. Oh, and Phineas and Ferb also came out in August. For those who don't know, these are two stepbrothers who try to invent stuff and have a great day every day to have the best summer, so they can go around and flex that they had the best summer ever. And when everyone else has a great epic summer, no one will. They just came back for a new season, and I think it's pretty good, pretty something. But yeah, I like this show. Is pretty good. It's something to look. It has all its twists and turns and expectations. Maybe they just really needed a break so they can get refreshing again. Because the last episodes for season 4 were whoa. They were just kind of thing. But I will say the second season was really good, and the middle of the first season was A tier, or for some of you S tier. Pretty good. So don't get turned off by the bizarre style, but it's got its charm to it. It does pay off in the end. So this one surprised me a little bit too. But another one that came in August was Paranorman. It's a stop motion animated film, and this kid can see all these ghosts and all that and all this stuff. It's been a long time since I've seen that, but what I remembered, I enjoyed it. It was something else, but hey, if it's not for you, then I don't blame you. I really think this would have done a lot better if this was released later instead of in August. But I guess, see, this is the thing. I know people believe in the whole summer blockbuster thing will make the best movies and the best sales. I don't believe that at all, because I really do believe that if this was released in around October instead of August, this would have done a lot better, because who's going to want to watch a Halloween movie around the summer anyway? That's kind of how I felt about Rise of the Guardians. Rise of the Guardians was really great. They were smart enough to do it around Christmas, but it ultimately wasn't really a Christmas movie. It was around, because this time was around the Easter. So, but I like the Rise and the Guardians a lot too, even though it was pretty overshadowed by the rest of them. And so, last but not least, the last notable animated film that was released around August was Your Name. And if you know anything about that film, and yeah, that is the perfect way to end the list, it seems. Okay. So, that was Troublesome Times. It was so easy to make a podcast, and I just did one again. So, if it's your birthday, happy birthday. If you know somebody, like a friend or family, or maybe your pet, happy birthday to them. If you haven't done this yet, don't forget to pet your pet. And it's been a pretty fun, wild ride after all this time. So, yep, this whole podcast has been me talking a little bit about the things I'm doing, a little update on the previous, and then and recommending what to watch that were released in August for the Leos and the Virgos. Leo and Virgo friends, Leo and Virgo friends family, and Leo and Virgo pets the most. Oh, the latter is the most important to me. So, don't worry. I'm pretty sure there's some visitors, the squirrels, the cats, and the dogs, and now the iguanas. What are they called again? Let me see. They just showed up recently. And they are like pretty something. Oh, they are the Rock Agama and the Leo and Virgo Rock Agamas. You guys are more than welcome to be here. So, before you know it, we'll see each other again. I may not always be around, but I sure am paying attention. So, sooner than later, bye-bye.